For the thousands in the comments and the millions listening on YouTube Premium.
Hello and welcome to KNITRO here on Knotfest. Today we're talking about
and on Square Circle Pit now.
And on Square Circle Pit.
Gorgeous.
Now. Yes. Gorgeous.
Our new wrestling exclusive channel with my interviews and all episodes of this is our wrestling hub for Knotfest.
It's official. It has begun now.
It has begun.
Nice.
I've said it for like 6 episodes now.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, so it's finally happened.
I keep going like, is it now? I don't know.
Well, we're here
We'll see what
now,
happens.
just in time for
war.
For war. It's war again, fellas.
We're going to war, folks.
It's been war the whole time.
I'm sick of war.
We've gone to war. We're back from war.
I'm going AWOL from war for a while.
How much war? Can we get a little? I think it's a little too much war.
What does it take to get dishonorably discharged from this war? Considering everything Hogan has said and done. God. What did we think of WCW's inaugural World War III pay-per-view, guys?
It was better than I thought it would be.
Kind of a dope show.
It was actually great.
Yeah.
I will say, yeah, it was great. It was really good. There were parts of the like once the battle royal got to one ring,
Yeah.
it was fine. But like the first 10, 15 minutes of it was a mess
Unwatchable.
on every level. On every level. Yeah, like the thing that bothered me the most, and we can get into it, but the commentary team weren't looking at the monitors. They were just looking up at the ring.
Yeah.
So what they were describing, we were not seeing.
Yeah, no, never. It was such a mess. And I did a little extra prep for this one. I listened to the 83 Weeks episode about this pay-per-view. And even Eric agrees in hindsight, where this was the first time he'd ever watched it back. And he was saying, like, this thing was a mess. There was no way to see what was going on. Like, we weren't prepped for it. And it shows. It's rough. And the idea is great. 60-man 3-ring, badass.
I will say, watching we're watching this the night after like the third Blood and Guts from AEW.
Mm-hmm.
And watching World War III, I was like, the fucking crowd is hot.
Dude, the crowd is
lit. They're lit.
Yeah.
World War III in the building, sick as fuck.
Yeah, probably.
Like an incredible battle royal. On camera, impossible.
Right.
You can't, unless you're just doing a wide shot the entire time, which is not compelling for television. It's literally impossible. But I feel like if you were in the audience, for
it was probably awesome.
You're probably this is fucking sick. And I think that it's a little bit. I think that World War III and also like a War Games kind of suffer from the same problem a little bit, where it's you're watching until they get to the one ring, you have the stakes are low, and that's also kind of the same thing in like a War Games match.
Because, dude,
where
think
it's
about
like,
50 of those guys are not winning. You know,
That was the other thing. This is for the World Championship.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to believe that Pez Watley
Come on.
and Scott Armstrong are going to win the world title. Cobra, get out of here.
dude, Cobra being I pop for Cobra. We all pop for Cobra.
we all.
Alex
I
Wright,
was like, he's going old.
Alex Wright has got to be Final 10, man. Come on.
Alex Wright, I was so excited to see him back. It's been weeks since we've seen him. He's clearly back from injury. I have the whole roster. We'll go through all 60 guys once we get to it.
I loved seeing him. His dick was the whole third screen.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It was incredible.
I feel
What a
like
beautiful
the
man.
way that they should have presented this was like you know how you're playing split screen with like Halo with somebody, with one person. It should have just been a big wide shot of all three, like horizontal. And
like
then,
an overhead?
Yeah, overhead, just like, here they are. This is everything. So if they're talking about something, you can see it. And then do the fucking, have the guys in the truck just be doing one frame, big frame on the bottom. Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Totally. Because, like, watching it like you're watching literally our show is crazy.
Crazy. Dude.
The framing is the same as our television
They
show.
needed Halo split screen technology. They needed multiplayer technology.
I agree.
That
it
is
would
the
have
way
worked
to
much
do it.
better that way. Because I didn't like that they were cutting around the 3 rings, because you lose your sense of, like, where am I in the ring? You know, like, which part of the ring am I looking at?
Which guy is talking?
Yeah, and also, exactly. And people are being eliminated, and you see it on screen, but they don't acknowledge it until like 10 minutes later.
A Cobra
Production
was thrown out.
nightmare.
Yeah, it was brutal. Idea-wise, awesome. Conceptually, badass. And Jordan, I think you're right. I bet being there was probably like if you were there with your boys, you'd be like, dude, we're witnessing the dopest match ever.
Is it? Yeah, this
visually,
is
it looks so
This is
cool.
the coolest
The 3
match.
rings.
This is like when they put this is like Ready to Rumble when the cage match is in the movie and it's awesome.
Oh,
But then in real life, apparently it sucks. I've never actually seen.
dude, cage is badass in the movie. The 3-layer
in the
cage.
in the movie, it's like
Fucking awesome.
they're fighting in a laser tag.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
You know what's funny is, you guys seen Barton Fink recently?
Yes.
How they're talking about making a wrestling picture.
Yeah.
Imagine going back in time and showing the studio trying to make a wrestling picture Ready to Rumble.
Showing them Ready to Rumble, but then also showing them the wrestler.
Dude, Ready to Rumble would have won Best Picture.
Yeah.
You know?
Mickey
Rooney would have played Mickey Rourke's character.
You got it. You figured it out.
Yeah, that's good shit.
Oh!
Yeah. Let's go from the top of the show here.
Johnny
So we start
versus Dallas.
Before that, dude. History. Give it to him, Rob.
Well, we kick things off. First of all, we have Tony and Bobby. And I'm very excited that we don't have Eric Bischoff.
For now.
Or Mongo.
Or Mongo. Yeah, Mongo is only works Mondays. Then they go to a plug to get all the latest results on CompuServe, which I loved. And then we see me and Gene Okerlund interviewing Hulk Hogan. And so he's wearing the black shirt, but the shot immediately gives away the reveal because you see he's wearing his red and yellow pants, and everyone in the crowd sees he's wearing the red and yellow pants.
Dude, the crowd is screaming throughout this whole thing.
The crowd is very hot. I was very impressed with the crowd and how much they hated Hulk Hogan. And so Hulk rips off the black shirt. He's like, the red and yellow's back, dude. And then everyone's apologizing.
Yeah.
Macho Man has a great
dude,
apology
You're the
line.
coolest dude in the world.
Yeah. When you're wrong, and I just want to say I'm sorry. You're the coolest dude in the way. Is unbelievable. I'm saying that for every time, like me and my girlfriend get in a fight. It's absolutely gonna be like, when you're wrong, and I just want to say I'm sorry. You're the coolest dude in the world.
Honey,
It's the best apology.
if I could tell you one thing, you're the coolest dude in the world.
You're the coolest dude.
That's good shit.
I'm obsessed. He's never missed a beat.
No. And it's like, and Jordan,
Oh my God.
the end of the show is the moment where you've been wondering, like, why not this? Here it is. But we'll get there.
So they're burning the black
Dude.
clothes. The fire is way too wild, where Sting is almost breaking character to like, oh, we're gonna
he's
burn this whole
pouring
place
fucking
down.
soot on it and shit, putting it out.
Yeah. And if I didn't warn you guys that there was going to be a shout out to the Wrestling Observer, I don't think you would have really understood what was going on here, right? Like, this was so confusing and it made no sense. It said he started being very general, like, oh, they said the Giant was going to win. He's not going to win.
Rag sheets, he calls them.
The rag sheets. And then he says that the rag sheet said that Macho Man is injured, but he's never felt better. Meanwhile, the whole show, the story is how he's fucking injured. Like, what? They ignore this completely.
This is insane.
Dude, he says, observe this. as he
Observe
throws
this.
it into
That's the
fire.
signature line. He throws it in the trash, and Ginny's loving the Observe this.
That was unbelievable.
Ginny's like, observe
Ginny's in the third
I
ring.
was like, holy shit, he said that. Dude, observe
She's still
this.
losing her mind for the Macho Man apology.
Yeah, no. She's like, I'm
popping.
the coolest dude in the world.
Oh my God, Macho Man said that about me? What?
This was unreal.
Dude, the fact that like anytime someone in the ether like talks shit about Hulk Hogan, he addresses it
Yeah.
on screen immediately. He's like the Ben Mendelsohn meme where it's just like, you haven't been talking to the Observer, have you, mate? You haven't been talking to Vince McMahon.
But
have
how
you,
many
mate?
times in history has this happened on a pay-per-view, you know?
Never. I can't. Nobody's ever acknowledged Dave Meltzer.
Not like this, man.
There were people like Meltzer would say that wrestlers would subscribe to the Observer under their wife's name or under a pseudonym because they didn't want people to find out they're even like a part of this. Because I want to mention it would be considered a big faux pas if you were revealed to be a source for him. You know,
Yeah.
So nobody ever wanted to acknowledge that they spoke to him. Meanwhile, everyone spoke to him.
Yeah.
And this was so stupid because in kayfabe, they're laughing at the idea that the Giant could win the Battle Royal,
Dude.
which it's like, this guy has been your biggest threat for the last 3 months.
You're clearly just saying Giant's not winning this fucking thing.
Yeah, you're
It's
you're
gonna be
telling
one
the
of
audience. So should I read what the Observer, how the Observer recapped this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because
It's a good quote.
first of all, they mentioned that WCW sold out the arena, 12,000 seats, only 8,000 paid. And they did turn away people, like Bobby Heenan mentioned during the show, they turned away 1,000 people. It's because they were giving out coupons for free to attend the show free, and more people showed up than they could fill in. That's why they turned away people. So so here's what Meltzer writes about this segment that we're discussing. The show opened with one of the weirdest interviews probably in wrestling history.
Yeah.
Hogan, Sting, and Savage came out. First, Hogan dumped his black wrestling attire in a burning garbage can. He then went off on a tangent about rag sheets, which is a term in the business unfamiliar which is a term those in the business unfamiliar with how the real world operates refer to newsletters such as this, as if this newsletter should be put in a grouping with anything else. Hogan threw a tantrum about a report that said the Giant was going to win the Battle Royal, which couldn't have even come from here because the last thing we wrote on the subject was that Sting or Savage were the best bets to win. And Hogan was joking about how they were wrong about the Giant winning, which pretty well tipped everyone off that the Giant wasn't going to win. Just
100%.
like you said, Colin. Meltzer continues, he also said, he being Hogan, it was reported Savage wouldn't be on the show because of an arm injury. It had been known for weeks here that Savage was going to eschew surgery and work the Battle Royal. He then said that the Savage arm injury was a total swerve on everyone, including the wrestlers in the dressing room, and that Savage's arm was fine. Savage had legitimately torn his tricep in his left arm, and it was barely half the size of the right, which I noticed as well. I didn't even read this. Like when I was looking at it, you could see it on him how one arm is bigger than the other. Even
it's
weirder,
also a part of the show.
The whole
it's a part of the story.
None of the commentators got this.
Yeah,
They
nobody
this.
acknowledged this.
No.
Well, even because like Bobby after this is like, yeah, my pick is Macho Man Savage. I mean, the Giant.
Yeah.
I picked the Giant. Right? What happened? What did he
the
say?
show starts with Tony asking him who he picks. And
he goes Macho Man, and he's like,
I think
oh,
Bobby
wait.
says Hogan. And then he's like, never mind, it's Ric Flair.
He does. I wrote down in my notes that he says it's Macho Man, and then he pivots to the Giant to maybe cover up that they just said the Giant wouldn't win.
Unbelievable. Oh, it was Tony that picked Hogan, right?
Yeah. Tony picked Hogan, and Bobby is like, I'm picking Macho Man. And then in his head, he's like, shit, that's the actual guy. The Giant.
That's good shit, man.
It's so funny.
So
here's
the money quote. Even weirder was, even if the injury wasn't real, the major storyline of the show, he then threw the, quote, rag sheet in the same burning garbage can saying, observe this. and said it was a dinosaur and that the internet is the real story. I suspect as his popularity and drawing power continues to drop, Hogan will be even more bitter. Since this appeared to be directed at me, I took it as a tremendous compliment.
Dude.
What a line!
I mean, the thing, Hogan popularity dropping is maximum irony considering where this would be a year from now.
Yeah, it is wild. Like at this point, like if I'm watching at this point, and I even remember at this point watching as a kid, like thinking, like, man, Hogan is so washed.
Yeah.
Even watching it back right now, he's so behind all the other top guys. Sting, Luger, Savage, all way better physically in the ring. Even like there's nothing appealing about the Hulk Hogan character. His promos suck. His wrestling sucks. It's terrible.
Agreed.
Yeah, well, like the thing is, if Meltz is probably right about the state of Hulk Hogan, if he didn't become like, okay, I will be a clout vampire for the two coolest, sexiest men that have ever been in the business. But yeah, he made Hogan.
But through that, Hogan drew a ton of fucking money a year later.
A ton of money. Yeah.
So about 20 minutes into the
he
show,
gets
we
one
finally
more
get
year.
to the. Well, no, he gets like
quite a bit.
He gets
dude.
a good.
I mean, but also think
still.
about this: the past Monday, Hogan versus Sting, that rating beat Raw's show after Survivor Series, and that's Hogan versus Sting.
Yep,
he's not totally washed. He's still the guy. He's just the guy.
I think he's totally washed to people that are paying attention.
Yeah,
you know, if you're still a casual viewer, you don't know.
But if you're just a guy who has a TV, you'd be like, Hulk Hogan versus Sting. I've heard those two names before. I know those words.
Yeah. Hulk Hogan is the most like today, still today. He's the wrestling industry will die with him being the most famous name.
He's smoking,
and it's just the way it is. You cannot think about fires.
You think about fires, you think about smoking bear. I mean, Austin drew the most money though, right? Would that be?
Yes. Fair? But in a shorter time period. Like Hogan's run was longer.
Way longer.
But less money. Yeah.
Right.
And Hogan kind of built the shit, you know?
Yeah.
It was built around
on the literal back of that broken backed ass motherfucker Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
That son of a bitch Hulk Hogan.
Well, speaking of sons of bitches, we got to talk about two beautiful sons of bitches.
Oh my god! The segment before it, the interview with Diamond Doll and DDP, what a pile of shit!
What a pile of shit! It's so funny that Mary Steenburgen has never. She's never acted before in this. This was crazy.
She's the most jacked person on the show, by the way. I don't know if you guys noticed how fucking ripped the Diamond Doll is.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
This is clearly just like it's ironic that it's like him and Mark Marrow, because clearly it's like a similar Sable situation. Like, hey, can we put your beautiful wife on television with you? And Diamond's like, I mean, I guess. Yeah. And even she's like, I guess.
Her vibe is very, I guess. But dude, she's shredded, jacked.
She is so buff.
It's crazy.
Oh, I honestly, Diamond in this segment, like he's saving it with just like when going like, we're okay. We're cool.
Yeah. That is
we're
like
cool.
a glimpse of what he's gonna be. And then the match itself. This is probably their worst one together yet.
Yes.
To me. Because they've had some bangers, dude.
They are having it has not been announced, but this is a best of 7. They've wrestled a million.
Every pay-per-view opens with them.
Yeah.
On
keep doing
tomorrow's Nitro as well. But Johnny B. Bad still pulled out some really serious high spots. He did that springboard plancha to the floor. He does that somersault leg drop from the apron to the inside,
which looks like called the bad day or whatever.
Oh yeah. I imagine you have a bad day when you get that fucking calf across your neck at high speed. And so the gimmick of the match is if Kimberly wins, she has to go with Johnny B. Bad. And in this,
if Kimberly wins,
No,
I'm sorry, if Johnny B. Bad wins, Kimberly has to go with it. The Diamond Doll is with him.
Yeah,
I meant. Whoever wins gets the Diamond Doll.
is Kimberly the Diamond?
Yeah,
Kimberly is the
Kimberly is the
Page.
Diamond Doll. I'm sorry, Kimberly Page is her real name. My apologies. I kind of thought the stipulation is a little weird.
it is
Because it's like a slave trade almost.
But then at the end, chivalrous Johnny B. Bad.
Yes,
aware.
he completely saved it
Yeah.
by asking her if she wanted to like he wins the match and he asks her, he leaves it up to her. And that I thought made it not weird at all.
Yeah, agree.
And she gives him a 10+. The crowd is going crazy. They're together. I don't understand how Dallas Page allowed the storyline to happen because that's his wife that he just lost.
How
But,
good does that
he'll do
first
it.
hug feel? The hug is like, he did it, yeah.
He freed this woman.
Yeah.
They do react. They react like it's it's Macho Man and Elizabeth at the WrestleMania.
Yeah.
They're like, oh my god, we're witnessing the same
This is
thing.
history. Yeah.
It's so funny that like it's like episode 12 and they're trying to redo little WrestleMania moments.
Oh, dude. I mean,
like giant slam.
look
and
at the
whatnot.
next match. The next match is the closed fist one, right?
Yep.
That's
Yes.
straight out of 1990 and 89 WWF, you know? Hogwash. Worst thing on the show, right?
Easily.
Easily.
It was voted the worst match by the Observer readers as well.
There we go.
But this was honestly, if you didn't have this match, every actual wrestling match would have been a banger.
Banger.
This was the one match where this was like, oh, this is WCW Gaga. This is
Yeah.
bullshit. This is like some weird angle that
I
they're
would
doing.
say it's WWF Gaga bullshit. Like character,
Right, yeah.
Fucking unwatchable. This is 5 years ago.
And there's a run-in. I don't know. Did you
Yeah.
guys actually watch the match? VK Wall Street, the former Urban Archer.
I didn't watch it.
Oh, okay.
You didn't miss it.
I
It's dog
skipped
shit.
it. I said I was going to
This
skip
is-
it, and I skipped it.
This is a taped fist match, and VK Wall Street goes in to throw a chain. Why do you need a weapon if your fists are taped?
can't even
I don't
hold it.
get it.
What are you gonna do this? I like
The
that
less-
they talked about how Bubba or Jim Duggan, to prep for this, went to go visit his ancestors in Ireland to prepare for this fight.
Oh, yeah.
We talked about that.
I
We
know,
talked about the
yeah.
ad for that.
Unbelievable. Ireland's got to add that to their fucking travel registry.
I didn't even know he was Irish.
How would you? He's American.
He
He loves wood.
He should have come out with the the like Irish flag and be like, I'm chained. I've got a new
I'm hot. I'm Lucky Charm Jim Duggan now.
yeah. Particle Jim Duggan.
Marshmallow saw Jim Duggan.
Hand me a Guinness and put on the Thin Lizzy. Here we go.
I'm in, dude.
I'm fucking
Give
wait.
him the belt. Give him all of it. Yeah. They should have known.
I've come to take your Lucky Charms.
Yes.
I think it was this was a Bo spinoff episode,
Okay.
but they did advertise a WCW Saturday Night that was was Disco Inferno's music video, and Jim Duggan goes to Ireland,
No.
and that was it. That was the
I
card that
gotta
they
look this
pushed.
up.
It was crazy.
No fucking way.
No, it was those two things.
They
were
shot
tuned out on
stuff in
Saturday.
Ireland with him?
Apparently, yeah,
No. My God.
that exists.
I will look it up. I will
Dude.
look it up. I will send you the clip, folks. That's crazy.
What?
Yeah, that
I
was
thought it was a
the. They were
throwaway.
like, tune in on Saturday. They said those two things, and then goodbye.
Who said
If
that?
you just, Siobhan,
Eric
if
Bischoff.
you just Google, Eric Bischoff, right? It's a Nitro. If you Google Jim Duggan Ireland, the segment comes up. So it's the first result.
I can't wait
if you
to watch
YouTube it.
I don't even
All
need
right.
to go to Ireland. I'll
No,
live
I'm
it
just gonna watch
through
this.
Jim Duggan.
Yeah, I've been in a way.
Gene Okerlund was there promoting the hotline, talking about the WWF steroid trial. Very weird.
What?
Very
the
weird.
fuck?
Talking about WWF steroids and that there
I
was
love this.
Look at who is on this show.
Yeah. Well,
All
it's
the
funny that
WWF
exactly.
steroid
Everyone
guys.
is roided up.
Like the
And
guys
apparently-
who are being named in the trial all work for WCW now. What are you doing?
Exactly. And there was no
Literally-
drug testing.
Yeah, just to say that after the show opened with 3 roided out MFers.
Yeah, a truly like Royd inspired anti-rag sheet rant.
Think again.
Yeah.
I guess I didn't think.
Yeah, unbelievable. This was fucking crazy.
I love it. I know this will end soon, and I'm bummed. But
Well,
I love
it. No, there's
Mean
another
Gene.
at least 6 months of this because it's the NWO, like whose side are they on? Speculation stuff that causes it to end.
really.
Yeah. And then it goes all the way through. They talk shit about them forever.
Yeah.
They talk
Thank
shit about WWF forever. Openly.
I specifically want just the Mean Gene with a hotline to like tune in for the hot goss.
Yeah, I mean, this is like extreme.
I just Mean Gene. I want him to say the exact same sentence, but he's on
Hot
a
goss.
bed with a cordless. You thought the steroid trial was over? Think again.
Kicking his feet in the air.
Kicking his feet. Yeah.
Girl, you will not believe what's going on with the steroid trial.
Twirling.
I think it's. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good shit.
Rob, we're gonna need that Photoshop. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
Thank you, Rob.
Thank you, Rob.
Bless you, Mr. Menzer. So then we have my favorite match, and I think we all agree this is the best match of the
Dude,
card.
this rocks.
The women's tag match. It was an interpromotional match, which I didn't even realize. And on the one side we had Akira Hokuto and Bull Nakano, and on the other side we had Cutie Suzuki and Mayumi Ozaki. Now, a few things I want to mention before we get into the match. First of all, Akira Hokuto, objectively, one of the best women wrestlers or best wrestlers of all time.
Right.
And I want to say for the longest time, when her name came up, or Kensuke Sasaki, who wrestled in the next match and is her husband,
Mhm.
Dave Meltzer would always have to tell the story, which I am now repeating to you, which is that the two of them met when WCW did that North Korean excursion.
Mhm.
That was the first time that they met, and everyone else said that they couldn't sleep at night because all everybody heard was the two of them fucking all night long.
Wow.
And he doesn't say it in such explicit terms, but essentially they met. It was love at first sight. They fucked hardcore. They got married. And then this trip where they do these wrestling matches, this is like their honeymoon.
Oh.
Yeah, it's hard because when you get 2 people in a room in a hotel, who's to say that who's making whoopee all night long?
Who is there any indication of, are they still married?
I believe they are. Yes.
No
They are.
way.
They're like, they actually go on like Japanese daytime cooking shows and stuff. They're like a pop culture couple now because they're both
Really?
retired. So they're really popular and they go on.
Spouse.
There's like,
Wow. Still married.
there's all the, oh yeah. I mean, love at first sight. Japanese people take their marriage.
Man, that is
seriously, I guess.
unbelievable.
Good for them.
But what a match!
Mazel. Yeah.
Yeah.
This match was unbelievable.
So
20
good. I was
years.
losing my shit.
Ahead of its time.
Yeah, like this
Minimum.
could have been today.
Yeah.
Bull Nakano is so brutal.
Yeah.
I kind of am annoyed at WWE for how little they showcased her because I never really got into her when she had her feud with Alundra Blaze. I didn't
Right.
understand it.
How could you?
But like, I wish I saw this match because
Mm-hmm.
they were fucking these other girls up.
Stiff, dude.
Yeah, it was so stiff.
As
They were
stiff
doing
as
show-
Benoit, dude.
Yes,
Oh my God.
It's crazy.
and like the power bombs were like right on the neck.
yeah.
These Japanese women.
The one
are
German
tough.
suplex that was like top of the
Oh,
head first.
The high angle. Oh my god.
crazy.
Oh my.
Dude,
And also, go ahead.
it almost every move is like right angle top of the
Yeah.
head. It's
Yes,
It's gnarly.
it's gnarly. It was awesome. I'm
Very
sorry.
fun.
It's awesome. I loved it.
Bobby Heenan was having the time of his life making jokes. Mike Tenay was talking about how hard it is to audition for All Japan Women's Wrestling, and Heenan joked that Okerlund was caught there with a wig on. And then when Akira Hokuto came out, she had one of those scare masks on, and without missing a beat, Heenan's like, "Oh look, it's Mrs. Shivani."
Dude, Heenan by the end of this is like the biggest Joshi fan that ever lived.
I
that
have
was
that
real.
in my notes as well. Even though he's making jokes, after a while, even Heenan is like, "Holy cow, these
Yeah.
women are killing it!" Like,
He
I love
starts
this. I've
naming
never
all
seen
these all these old wrestlers, and he's like, they're better than this guy, than this guy, than this guy.
Yeah. This is, I will say, yeah, there's a moment where you hear Bobby like this, it switches.
Yeah.
Because he is it's the only time he's ever stumbled
Yeah.
speaking on television.
He's watching wrestling.
He's watching wrestling for the first time in his life.
Yeah, I love that's
And-
the best when he
Yeah.
gets into it like that.
He was about to he was about to make a laundromat joke. You could hear him
Oh, it's
stumble,
coming,
and he goes, and you hear him go, like, you know, when you say a joke and you're like, I don't even want to do this one. In the moment, you're like, I wish I didn't do it.
yeah. Mhm.
That's him. And then the flip switch, the switch flips, and he's like,
What a match.
I'm a wrestling fan.
Yeah. Yeah, this fucking rocked. Match of the show. If you didn't watch this and you're watching KNITRO just to watch it, I would go back and just watch this.
Do this.
I want to mention, you said the German suplex. So I noticed what happened was Osaki, one of the faces, she did a tequila sunrise and threw Hokuto on her neck. She started it, and then Hokuto was like, "Oh, this is the game we're playing?
Yeah.
Here's a receipt." And then she threw it back on her neck. Also, they did the craziest thing I've ever seen. They did a Doomsday device, which is the Legion of Doom Road Warriors finisher, except instead of a clothesline, it was a guillotine leg drop.
Yeah, the
That
guillotine leg
was-
drop was crazy.
I was nuts.
Yeah.
These women are insane.
And think about the first time people in 1995 seeing the Doomsday device. That was the
Well,
most
I mean,
innovative wrestling move to ever exist.
Yeah, that was a true heart, like end of game finisher at
Yeah.
the time.
If like in
So, yeah.
in 99, if somebody asked me the best finisher, I would have been like, if anybody says anything but the Doomsday device, kill them.
I will give them the
that's-
Doomsday device.
And, yeah, exactly. And then the guillotine leg drop version. Are you kidding me?
Oh my god.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Also, the faces, they did a duo double stomp, a quadruple stomp
That
on
was
Bull
awesome.
Nakano from the top rope.
That was
do you think
great.
that? You can't.
They just
you
kept
can't-
going. It was sick.
Yeah. This was the best match. I almost want to say this is the best match since we've started the show.
Yeah.
Because I was losing it.
Yeah.
I was losing. I cannot recommend going back and watching this match.
Thoroughly
And they-
awesome.
It was fucking awesome. They do it again the next night, and I loved it again. It's
Yes.
fucking open every show with Diamond Dallas Page versus Johnny B. Bad, and also put this match.
And a Joshi tag.
And
This match,
Joshi-
this Joshi match.
This exact Joshi tag
I'm in.
match. It
Sign
rocks.
me
So
up.
good.
You know what rocks? Sting versus Ric Flair.
Dude.
Oh, we skipped something.
Yeah, it
We
was
skipped Kensuke
Probably.
Sasaki versus Chris Benoit.
right. Stiff
Which was
as a board,
Another
dude.
stiff match. Lots of
That's-
dropping on the necks here. Lots of high angle Germans.
Yeah,
That is why I wanted to skip it.
it was good.
Shivani
good.
says, "We're here in Norfolk, the home of NATO." And then Heenan goes, "NATO? Is that the other Japanese guy walking around here?"
Oh my god.
It's like he's talking about Kato, right? The guy
Yeah.
from Green Lantern, right? Like that's the
Oh,
joke
the
he was
Green
going
Hornet?
for.
Green
Green Hornet.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry, not Green Lantern. Yeah,
Sick
yeah.
fuck. This rocks.
This was great. This was I agree with you, Colin. I tried to turn off my Chris Benoit criticism brain and just enjoy this for what it
It's
was.
just a stiff Japanese match. It was cool.
It was cool.
Yeah.
Interesting how they portrayed the match, because Tony said something that an announcer would never say today, which is the fans here would love to see this title back in the United States.
Yeah.
Which it's like, what?
About a Canadian guy winning it.
By a Canadian guy also. But, and then Heenan goes, Benoit told me he was awarded best wrestler in Canada. And then Tony's like, oh, did you call and confirm? And Heenan's like, well, I tried, but I got the answering machine. And then Tony kind of goes off on him on like, that's what a broadcast journalist does. They get multiple sources to confirm a story. All night, the two of them were doing bits like this. And I really, really loved it. And you can tell sometimes Heenan would lob something at Shivani and Shivani would be like, oh, I see what we're doing.
Yeah.
All right, let's go. And it was really, really fun. And it's something I feel is missing from wrestling commentary today.
Agreed. Which is
I
interesting.
guess you see it with Taz a little. Taz.
When the AEW Dark commentary was very that.
Yeah.
Taz has fun.
Tony is
Taz
very
is
matter
here to
of
have
fact when he's working with Dusty.
Mm-hmm.
He's more he's more the Eric where he's just like, okay, I'm not doing color, I'm play by play. But him and Bobby is it's like they're both doing color and play by play.
Yeah,
It's great.
It's great.
You're listening to like young Stadler and Waldorf when they're friends and they like the theater.
They
It's
love
incredible.
the theater.
They love the theater, and
They
then
love
the
it,
Muppets get
the
it.
Joshi theater especially.
They love Joshi theater. Yeah, this match rocks, but like, it's also it's still watching Benoit stuff is like, for me, I'm only watching like hit points. I'm watching like a health bar lose. It is rough.
Pretty decisive win here, though. They put
Yeah.
Suzuki over big time. He does his wife's finisher. And there was a tease on commentary. Sonny Ono grabbed the mic for a second and teased that Starrcade was going to be where we're going to see more Japanese wrestlers, which is teasing what will future be a New Japan versus WCW kind of one-night tournament.
Yeah.
Not a tournament, like a face-off.
Right. Big win here.
Big win for Kensuke. And then we get a promo with Kevin Sullivan, Jimmy Hart, and the Giant. And I am just distracted because the Giant has a huge moose knuckle showing. This singlet that he's wearing is maybe one or two sizes too small because you just fucking see everything and you can't look away.
Crazy.
And there's nowhere else on the screen to look.
He's 7 feet tall, and I know it's 7
so
feet
big.
long. So what am I supposed to look?
The promo itself was
That's why they call him the Giant.
Yeah.
and nothing. And then they do a Macho Man promo. And Mean Gene asks Macho Man, Macho, are you jittery? And Macho, without missing a beat, I'm always jittery. It's a part of my charm.
Oh my
Part of my
God.
charm.
I'm
He's
taking
saying-
that. I'm saying I'm only speaking in Macho Man quotes for the rest of my
Dude,
life.
I mean, everything he said was like a one-of-a-kind soundbite. It's crazy.
I'm not at 100%. I'm at 1,000,000%, which
Yes,
is
that was-
higher than 100.
Which is higher than 100. Unbelievable.
I don't know if
you
know that, but 1,000,000 is higher than a.
When in this order was the Ric Flair promo? Did we miss that?
Before this. It was.
Oh, it
before
might have
this?
happened already. I didn't have it.
Dude,
in
that
my
was
notes.
classic. He's the goat.
He's so good. He was so good to
Oh
this
my
match
God.
with Sting.
Dude, Rick and Sting
This-
went out there like they were like, dude, we've done this before. Let's
We
just
got
do
it.
it again. The crowd's hot. Let's just play into that. They
They-
did all the things.
But we're skipping ahead because we got
Yeah.
Luger and Macho next. This match was more storyline driven. Not really much to the match.
Yeah.
Kind of a weak work rate. But I really liked the finish, which was Luger's working over Macho's arm, which Hogan said was not injured, but in storyline is very much injured. And if you look at it, it's injured. And he has him in a, he fucks him up on the outside, puts him in the torture rack outside, hits him, whatever, and he's knocked out and brings him in the ring, puts him in an arm bar. Macho Man is knocked out. He does not submit. The ref
babyface
stops the
never
match.
submits. Yeah.
And then Sting comes out to parallel what Lex Luger did a few weeks ago on Nitro when Sting had Ric Flair in a submission, and Sting talks Luger out of letting go of the submission. Very, very good storyline progression here, I think. So then we have
bummer match though.
Bummer match, kind of brought down the show a little bit. But then next match,
I literally forgot about it.
Weird.
It was not at all.
I didn't love I felt like the finish was weird on TV.
Well, here's the thing. I like, you don't pass out from arm stuff.
Well, I mean, that's wrestling.
I think they were saying he was already passed out before it got thrown in the ring and then got the arm.
Oh, okay. Well, either way, the whole thing felt weird. I don't know. Whatever. I love Macho Man. I love him.
Well, and he's gonna win later, so it's like he don't hurt from losing this.
Yeah. This match is unbelievable. I have in my notes, Sting is the greatest main eventer of all time.
Of all time, dude.
I think that we gotta be like, you can make arguments for other people for best wrestler, best this guy, best that. In this era, Sting is the best at everything.
He's nobody delivers like him, man.
He's literally given every single person their best main event match so far.
Well, and
I want to add the caveat that he is in there with one of the, if not the greatest wrestler of all time, who knows all of Sting's best showcases and knows how to structure the match so that the crowd does maximum pops. I love that they were the first ones. Ric Flair in particular was the first one to roll out and go into another ring.
Yes!
I love that so much. He was like, come in here and fight me here.
Of course he was. You know?
Yeah, it was so good. And the ref is like, all right, now we're in this ring. He's not even doing a count out.
Yeah.
I was so excited. Every time I was like, he's going to go to the third ring. And when he does, I'm going to light up like the actual ring.
So
it's going to be incredible. It was beautiful.
This rocked, and it's probably like their fifth best match together. You know?
I know.
Yeah, that's it. This is like their house show template. That's what but it works. It's so good. The crowd, they got the crowd so loud. The crowd was, he would chop and the crowd wooed. I never noticed this before in early ECW. I thought this started in ECW where the crowd would woo on a chop, but this is Ric Flair country. That's the thing, is like they want Sting to win. They are cheering for Sting. But when Flair does something cool, they're going to cheer it. Like they know he's the heel, but they love him. They love him. And he is to be also, I want to just say his entrance, Flair's entrance.
Oh, come on.
Is the perfect wrestling entrance.
Yeah.
Like if he was on Drag Race, he would have won that week.
Yes.
His strut, his confidence, like, I don't know if you guys do that. Like, I've spent so many moments in my life strutting like Ric Flair. It is the most fun thing to do.
The best.
You got to do yourself a little Ric Flair.
Imagine having so much swag that you invent that.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't invent the strut.
You invent the wrestling runway walk.
Buddy Rogers.
It was Jackie Fargo invented the strut in Memphis. That's who Lawler and Jeff Jarrett credited.
I've never heard of him.
Ric Flair perfected. If you look up Jackie Fargo, he is the funniest looking wrestler you've ever seen.
I believe it. That's why this beautiful specimen is getting all the credit for it.
That's right.
In fact, I will send Rob Menzer an image of
to be the man, you gotta beat off the man,
That's
Hanny.
Right. I'm Jackie Fargo.
Hanny.
But Ric Flair sissies that walk all the way to the ring. They have an amazing match. And Bobby Heenan has a line here. This is another great bit with him and Tony. He goes, if you're a horseman, you're a horseman. And we all know what horses are made of. And Tony goes, horse. Don't say it. Bobby just set him up.
Unbelievable, man. It's crazy that that's not the fucking Nitro team.
Yeah, it's so stupid.
It's crazy.
Well, I know why, because Bischoff knows that the Turner bosses are watching TNT and he wants to make sure they see him on there. That's what I thought the same exact thing during this show. The biggest pop for this match was when Sting does the 10 punches in the corner, which I like. Everyone in the crowd was going huge. And then Ric Flair rolls out and goes into the third ring. That's when the third ring happened. And I was screaming
Dude.
in my apartment.
These are
good.
these are the kind of matches that you show to somebody to just say like, hey, look, WCW was awesome.
Yeah, especially these two. Yes. And they finish it with a superplex. 2 heavyweights. This was the sickest super. I'm so used to seeing like junior heavyweights and luchadors doing them. I forget that this was a heavyweight move.
Yeah.
It looked so impactful.
They hit hard.
And then he puts him in the Scorpion Deathlock. And I want to point out, Bobby Heenan laid the seeds. He was like, why are these two fighting so hard? They're in that battle royal. They can win a world title. This is not as important.
Yeah.
Which made sense for why Flair immediately submitted. He didn't need to be in that Deathlock. He has another match to do.
Right.
Here's the thing. Flair has submitted to the Deathlock
more than anybody.
12 times.
Which, I mean, but think about that.
He loves it.
Think about that as a testament to Rick. Rick made one of his best entrances during this match, a match he knows he's losing, that he's submitting to. And he knows he's going out with his boy. And he's like, dude, I get to wrestle my fucking boy that we love wrestling. This is going to be the best. Like boo-boo face. You would have no indication that he was going to lose. I see that face he's making when he's coming out, and I'm like, this guy's going over.
Yeah.
But they just know. They know they're magical together. They're the best. Yeah. Sting is the GOAT. Because Rick is the GOAT, you know?
You're going to make me cry. You're right.
It's crazy.
I'm going to weep.
I was thinking something similar of like, wow, Flair just knows exactly how to get the crowd on Sting's side. Like he kept looking like such a coward. It was so good. We can't say enough good stuff.
And I will say, this is kind of the opposite of like Johnny B. Bad and DDP are trying to do this, you know?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But absolutely. DDP's not doing those things to get Johnny B. Bad. Them activated for Johnny B. Bad. He's more so just, like when he's suffering and he's getting an arm worked or something, he's just like, fuck. This hurts.
Yep.
Where Rick is like, no, he's gonna kill me. Please, God.
Ric Flair wrestles like an episode of Looney Tunes in the best way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when he gets like bonked on the head, he takes like 3 steps and then he falls over. He's begging people. He's like begging you not to like hand him the dynamite or whatever. It's
unbelievable. It's Tom and Jerry. It's like, well, that's why we watch TVs. This is what you watch.
This is television.
This one guy's got to lose and be a loser.
Ric Flair is the mayor of television. It's unbelievable.
100%. And Sting is Jesus Christ.
Of television.
That classic dynamic of Jesus and the mayor. That story. That IP. You familiar with that IP?
What is that? That's Leviticus?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, if Sting is Jesus, then the next segment we have our Judas. Another Hulk Hogan promo. Why do we need this? I know why we need this, because we need the crowd to start chanting Hogan sucks.
Yeah.
They mute the crowd, but I was looking at the crowd, you could see people mouthing Hogan sucks, Hogan sucks.
Yeah.
And he's saying nothing. This was completely and it's something that I mentioned previously that shows how checked out Hogan is. He's calling it the WCW, the World Championship Wrestling. It does not make sense grammatically. It's just WCW. I hate when people say the WCW.
Yeah.
I hate when people say the WWE because it also doesn't make sense. It's because of the WWF would have made sense.
Yeah.
Because it's the World Wrestling Federation. It's the Federation.
Yeah, the Federation.
But it's not the entertainment. No. You know? It's just World Wrestling Entertainment. Anywho. Then we do a round around the bend of the announcers. We finally get Dusty on the pay-per-view, and right away Dusty says, "This will go down in infamy."
He just woke up, man. Give him a break.
I loved it. He was like, "Oh wait, we're getting crowned a world champion. Let's go to Michael Buffer." And Bischoff's like, we're not going to Buffer yet. We got to go to the third announce crew.
Irregardless,
we're
going to Buffer.
Go to Michael Buffer.
We're gonna go to Michael Buffer, who an announcer going down in infamy, baby.
Infamy. So then we have the March of the 60 Wrestlers. Jordan, how do you feel they
God.
handled this?
It's so funny.
It's so
It's the
half-assed.
funniest. I was like, there's only one way they can do this, and I was wrong.
Yeah.
What was the way that you thought? Oh, like the Royal Rumble type thing?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Or like it just starts and they're like we cut away and they're
no.
in the ring.
We have to watch them all
No.
go out as friends and then
Yeah,
immediately be
they-
enemies.
Like literally like almost holding hands.
Yeah.
Like all 60 of them.
The most absurd is like when people feuding are right behind you. Like Ric Flair was right in front of Hulk Hogan. Wouldn't Hulk Hogan just like donk him on the head or something? You know, like it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, fuck you on the way.
I have the whole list here, and we could clearly stop because like some of these people, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
So
Dude,
Arn Anderson,
Hulk Hogan shivving Rick.
I would have been smacking like psh, he did it. Yeah, read the list, Rob. Let's hear it.
yeah, just trip somebody on the
Yeah,
way
just-
down. You can do it.
I
Give some
will
wet
say-
willies.
Oh, dude, that was awesome.
Let me get through this list.
Yeah.
Arn Anderson, Alex Wright,
Go
Brian
go.
Knobs, Barrio brother Ricky, which I
Come on.
already, David
Oh,
Taylor.
that's my guy. You don't like Barrio?
The BB.
You love the Barrio brothers.
BBR? That's not your guy?
Scott Armstrong, who later in the show is wheeled out on a stretcher. That looks scary.
Yep.
Sting,
Go.
Joey Maggs,
Mhm.
perennial jobber Pez Watley, Disco Inferno, who actually got a boo reaction. He got
Yeah.
an audible reaction. Meng, Stevie Ray, Mark Starr, Buddy Lee Parker, and James Earl Wright, Highway Patrol,
Mhm.
who were doing their own angle of like they're constantly arguing. Lex Luger, Eddie Guerrero, Cobra, the Giant, Paul Orndorff, Chris Kanyon, who was the first time I'm seeing him on WCW TV, Bobby Walker,
We love you. We love you, Canyon. We love you.
Bobby Eaton, Chris Benoit, the Macho Man, Randy Savage,
Ah!
Marcus Bagwell, the Yeti,
Yeah.
who is now a giant ninja,
Super Ninja. Unbelievable.
Kurosawa, Hugh Morris, who some announcers still just refer to as humorous,
Yeah.
Mike Winner, Steve Armstrong, Hawk, Scotty Riggs, Johnny B. Bad, Steve Regal, Big Train Bart, oof, the Zodiac, VK Wall Street, Dallas Page, Scott Flash Norton, Brian Pillman, Sergeant Craig Pittman, Max Muscle, Shark, Barrio Brother Fidel, Jerry Saggs, Kevin Sullivan, David Sullivan, Jim Duggan, Booker T, Bubba Rogers, and then Ric Flair and Hulk Hogan.
What? Oh, you're done?
Yeah, we're
Wow.
done.
What did you guys think? I know we talked about it already, but give me your thoughts.
I want to say first, Steven Regal, MVP, because as Michael Buffer is doing his announcement, Steve Regal smartly gets right behind him, and he's doing like these reactions like,
Yeah.
I'm going to get you. No one's going to get me. No one's going to get me. It made it. Yeah, I think the first, you can fast forward through the first, like until the rings merge, nothing happens other than the Yeti getting eliminated immediately.
Immediately.
Like literally immediately.
Yeah.
I couldn't
Dude.
believe this guy they've been building up for months and he's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, the costumes got. He looks like a COVID hoarder. It's crazy.
Heenan is actually accidentally calling Big Bubba Boss Man from his WWF days.
How could you not? He's the boss man.
He's
man.
the boss man. Enough of this.
And Bischoff is trying to talk about who got eliminated. So he says Brian Knobbs gets eliminated and one of the Harlem Heat. He couldn't tell which member it was. It was Stevie Ray.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe when they finally merged the rings and Giant and Hogan are in the ring together. How did they not both immediately start fighting? They're
It's
just
stupid, man.
there's no kayfabe in this.
No,
man. This
no.
is just walking around waiting for your turn to get eliminated.
There's no actual psychology to it either. Until
So
the
we
last minute.
we finally get to the top 9, and I'm so excited. Eddie Guerrero makes it to the top. I think that's really cool. They actually like put over a new guy a
He
little
beat
bit.
Pillman clean. It was like they like him.
Dude,
Yeah.
Eddie and Sting's section of this match is like the only time there's like heat
Yeah,
and
that's cool.
stakes.
Oh, yes.
Like, Sting is like doing the Sting splash onto a guy and headbutting Eddie at the same time.
Yeah, it's badass.
And then Eddie does the most badass drop kick to Sting that I have ever seen in my life.
It seems like everybody in there is like, yo, Eddie's dope. We should do stuff with
Yeah,
him.
we should work with this guy. Yeah. So the top 9 are Sting, Hogan, One Man Gang,
Oh my god.
the Giant, Macho Man, Ric Flair, Arn Anderson, Lex Luger. I cannot believe One Man
Badass
Gang.
line, dude. Other
Yeah.
than One Man Gang.
How he's still getting booked this late in his career. I'm
Crazy.
blown away. I loved Luger and Sting finally teaming up, but then they team up to eliminate the Giant, which in storyline kind of doesn't make sense because Luger is affiliated with the Giant.
Doesn't make sense
But I
at
guess
all.
it's every man for himself.
But come
And
on.
then, so they're struggling to get him over the top rope. And it's like, oh shit, they're going to eliminate the Giant. And then Hulk Hogan comes, and I thought Hulk Hogan was going to help them eliminate the Giant. No. Hulk Hogan has to eliminate all 3 guys because, of course fuck
he
you,
does.
Hulk Hogan. And then I guess the Giant pulls him under the ropes. So he's not officially eliminated. And meanwhile, Macho Man is on the other side with the only other person left in the match, One Man Gang, and he eliminates him. The bell rings and Macho Man is declared the winner. But wait a minute. Hulk Hogan was never eliminated.
Yeah.
The camera was constantly on Hulk Hogan. We don't even see Macho Man do his final elimination. So you're led to believe that Hulk Hogan got screwed here.
Yeah.
This was terrible. This was
Awful.
such a bad ending.
Awful.
And then the best part about it, though, was Hogan is like pleading to the crowd, like, was I eliminated? like,
And they're
tell
like,
them
yes,
and
fuck you.
They were like, boo, yeah. At one point, he gets on the mic, like, hey, guys, was I like? They were like, should I get another chance? And they're like, no, we don't want you. Like the crowd wanted Macho Man to win. I can't believe how much they're ignoring their own audience here.
It's crazy. It's so awesome.
This is not these pay-per-views are not sequential with the Nitro episodes. So the thumbnail and like auto the auto play, like the last time we watched Nitro, it auto played. So I knew that Macho Man was going to win this battle royal, and I was ecstatic.
Yeah.
I was so thrilled. I was like, finally,
Yeah.
something.
And
The
you
right
saw
guy's
it.
champion.
You can't like there like a one like Hogan can lose battle royals. I've seen him do it.
Yeah.
I've seen him not totally get in someone's way, and like he can lose a battle royal. And then this is the ending. I was like, no wonder the Macho Man, like every time
How cool
every
would it have
time
been,
this
dude, if he just went back in and they like finished it?
and he just shoved
Yeah,
him out.
why
Still
not?
got him over. What does that do?
What?
You didn't get pinned.
Why
And
not
it
get
was like
pulled
on a
over
mistake.
with every other big guy?
Yeah, why
Why
not
not all
just
of you?
Giant? Why doesn't Giant just pull him over?
Yeah.
You know, like, why couldn't he be eliminated?
He couldn't be eliminated with Sting and Luger and the Giant because they're all too big. Like,
That would
why
have been
not?
a
Yeah.
dope spot. That made
Why not?
everybody look good.
And then One Man Gang gets thrown out, and the Macho Man is the champion, and it's fine
Yeah.
because Hogan is. This is ridiculous.
Yeah. Hogan is
This
right,
is
and
so
he
weak.
shouldn't be. You know?
Yes, that's
hate
that's
it.
how I felt as well. It made everyone else look very weak.
Yeah.
It immediately puts a stain on Macho Man's title reign. But I do like that Macho Man's like, hey, I have the belt. The result's the result.
Yeah.
And then they kept going like, we got to watch the film. What film? This is on
I gotta
videotape.
see the film. Here, I will say this. This is the worst possible, like, way to win the belt that I've ever seen. This is the worst championship win I've ever seen in my life. And Macho Man also knows that. So, but he's so charismatic that he's selling it and just being like, look,
I won.
I wanted to be champion.
Yeah.
I'm champion now. And I'm going to whoop everyone. Like his promo the next night on Nitro is him just going, listen, I won the belt. And I'm taking it because you know what? He treats it like it is not the wrestling program. He's in the wrestling business.
Yeah.
And it's his business to be champion. And he's like, I'm champion now, and I'm going to whoop everyone's ass. And it'll either be me whipping people's ass forever, or I might lose it tonight. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm going to have a fucking sick championship reign. He has made the best batch of lemonade of all I've ever tasted in my life.
He's God, dude.
Good
and I
for
love
Macho Man. He looks amazing with the belt.
Mm-hmm.
God damn it.
Damn it,
Hulk
Hulk
Hogan.
Hogan. But I love Gino Colin is
frustrating.
signing off. He's sending the fans home. Macho Man grabs the mic. One more thing. Ooh, yeah. And I swear, like, 10% of my anger dissipated because that was so great. I love Macho Man. So my favorite thing has been rediscovering how much I love Macho Man watching these shows back. All right, next night on Nitro, let's just this isn't very eventful. It's a lot of fallout from the night before. I want to point out immediately in the first shot, when you see the announcers, Bobby Heenan very discreetly, he's like scratching his head, but then flips the crowd off. The camera off like very vividly as he's scratching his head. Menzer, please drop that in. Thank you kindly.
We got to shout out Leopard Pepe.
Oh my
God. Everyone's an animal print. Everyone's an animal print because these guys are ready to eat some raw meat, says Mongo.
Rita Perlman Pepe is unbelievable.
Wow.
So good. So good.
All-time outfit.
And then the first match, as we mentioned, is the rematch of the opening match. Love DDP coming out with flowers and try to, like, you think he's going to try to win her back. It's all a con because he just knocks out Johnny B. Bad. And wait. She accepts the flowers. Johnny B. Bad is upset that she took the flowers from DDP because she's with him now. And then he clocks Johnny B. Bad. And then Kimberly, in her poor acting, the Diamond Doll, rather, I'm sorry, is trying to like act like she doesn't know who she should go with.
Right.
And this seemed like very out of nowhere to me.
Yeah.
It seems that they're setting up. This has been a ruse. This is a ruse to defeat. Like she's gonna go with him if so that they can eventually because there's a chain in the flowers.
Right. There's a chain in the flowers. He tells her to throw it. She doesn't know what to do. She throws it under him, and you don't know if she threw it to Johnny B. Bad or she's just bad at throwing.
Right.
So the storyline is continuing.
Great.
We're gonna get 10 more matches.
Oh, Lord.
Let them wrestle forever.
No, but honestly, agreed. I hope that he never stops opening these pay-per-view. Yeah, fight forever. Johnny B. Bad. They need to put Johnny B. Bad and DDP in the next
in the game
DLC.
Honestly, why not?
We have the All Japan women versus the other women in a rematch. This match was not as good as the night before because it was shorter, but just as intense.
Right.
It was dope.
Stiff.
Bobby Heenan with some really weird lines. He's saying, I think she's attractive in an Orientalist kind of way.
Oh my God, Bobby!
That's just on Peacock.
Yeah, that's just on Peacock. They do a double stomp again, the faces, and he calls it an Oriental Heimlich.
When like how far are we from Oriental being a faux pas? You know,
days.
Like easily, right? Like it's already come on.
This was on television, and they were like, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't say that anymore.
I can see
like there's standards and practices.
Yeah, Bobby between takes was probably like, what's the last slur I can freely say?
So Bull Nakano does these hair throws. She grabs her opponent by her hair and chucks her halfway across. The crowd couldn't believe it. The crowd didn't know who these women were, but they were losing it for them. Like they won the crowd over. Yeah, they won both. I think that's very important because these crowds had no idea who these women were, but their action was so good that these drunk Southerners, these drunk Virginians couldn't help but get into it. Unfortunately, it looked like Bull Nakano really messed up her knee when Akira Hokuto did that dive to the outside. It felt like she couldn't even stand on it at the end of the match.
Right.
So I hope she's going to be okay. So that's that. Any comments on the women's wrestling match?
So long ago. I really hope she's all right.
I hope she's okay. And she's alive still, so she's fine. You're right. That's a good point. She made it out okay. Any
30
other
years
any
ago,
thoughts?
I really hope you were okay that day.
Yeah, well wishes.
Well wishes to Bill Nakano 30 years ago.
Then
I think you're really good.
The
You're good at
WCW
wrestling.
Nitro debut of Hugh Morris, who Bobby Heenan again keeps calling humorous. Hugh Morris is
I
an
love
awful
that
gimmick.
Bobby's fucking fuck you in the name.
And Bischoff when Hogan comes out, Bischoff steals Macho Man's line from a few weeks ago where he says, "This is where the big boys play, and he is the biggest boy." And it's very interesting because what's interesting watching this match is what Bischoff is saying is like all corporate PR speak. Like he says he might not have the title, but in the eyes of the fans, he will always be the champ. That's him saying how he views Hulk Hogan in WCW. Like he's always going to be the top guy, whether he has the title or not.
It's also
so
Hogan
deal with
saying,
it, bitches.
Hey, when you go on TV tonight, you tell him that I'll always be the champ.
You know what? Let's just make me a belt for when I don't have the belt.
Yeah.
And Hogan is clearly feeling a little insecure. I've never seen him this not confident because he starts doing chain wrestling. He does he does an arm bar. I guess he did it in the Sting match too. He does an arm bar, like the shittiest takedown, an arm lock takedown.
He's doing some week one wrestling school type swag just to be like, see?
Yeah. And
Sting,
shocker
you
of all
avoided
shocker.
my leg drop, so I'm going to Russian leg sweep your ass. I'm going to give you a snapmare. You're not going to believe it.
100%.
Hip toss, bitch. You ever seen that? Yo, you have?
It's straight. It's the fucking MJF Adam Cole double clothesline, but for real.
Yeah.
It's the I'm gonna hit you with the close.
That's exactly who they're parodying.
Yeah.
It's the CM Punk lariat for real.
Oh, yeah.
I love the lariat.
I love the
Kojima.
lariat. The best.
Brilliant.
Macho Man comes out with another 10 out of 10 outfit. Looks completely different than the night before.
He's
Can you
champion
imagine
now. He's dressed to impress, brother.
He's dressed and impressed before he was champion. He gives a promo. He says he's going to be defending. He doesn't know what's going on, but he's the champion. Hogan's like, we got to show the footage, brother. I love that the footage goes out just as you get to see if Hogan was eliminated or not.
Fuck yeah.
I thought that was a great.
Yeah, we didn't get that.
Sorry, there's no way to find it now.
Yeah. Ran out of film.
Yeah, WCW officials were not watching live to see what happened. And so
the footage and a bunch of credit cards got ruined.
And then the Dungeon of Doom comes out to attack them. It's weak. It's very weak. Hogan has the weakest chair shots to the Giant. Like literally like barely touching him. You know, like what are you doing? And the big moment is that the Giant choke slams Macho Man on the outside and they're selling it like Macho Man is dead.
Yeah.
So the world champion is now dead.
Of course.
And that's their Nitro after World War III. Not much setup for the Starrcade in a few weeks. More just like fallout from World War III.
Yeah.
I guess the women's match was nice.
Where the new world champion has to be end the show on his back. Like, really?
Oh, that's right. No. The final match was Luger and Sting teaming against Arn Anderson and Brian Pillman. And this was actually a really fun match.
It was okay. It was all right.
Great on paper. Tell you what.
Yeah. Oh, and I guess that's where this whole mess came about. But also, like Kevin Sullivan's like, why did Luger let go of Macho Man? We could have had the Giant win if he wasn't in, but he didn't mention how Luger eliminated the Giant.
Yeah.
Nothing made sense.
He was part of that.
Anyway, any final thoughts on this Nitro?
I can't wait for I can't wait for NWO in 6 months. Realistically are my thoughts. I'm loving.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to witness a Macho Man reign. You know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hopefully they give him some good matches.
Yeah. I want to see him come out with the belt, beat a guy, and hold up the belt one time, and that's all I'm trying to see.
Just one.
Yeah, without Hogan coming in and taking his heat.
Oh my God.
I think we do see, and I think he has a great match at Starrcade. I forget who his opponent is, but and Hogan's gone for a few weeks after this.
Yeah,
for sure, until January. So we're gonna have an actually good Nitro for a few weeks, hopefully.
Very excited.
And
Cool. Can't
hopefully
wait
you'll
till
be
next
able-
week.
You'll be able to join us as we're winding down 1995 on our Nitro watch along. I want to, of course, thank Rob Menzer. You can always follow us Nitropod. Also follow Squared Circle Pit on Twitter. There is no E in circle. On Instagram there is.
Okay.
And follow all of us. Our social media handles are in the description as well.
They're on
Whatever you
screen.
Thank you as always for
Bye. We love you. Bye.
Bye. World War III.
World War III. Oh my God! Enough with the war.
No, I'm unenlisting, dude, for more.
Yeah.
make love, not World War.
That's right.
Undrafted. Here we go.
Love it.